by all means point that out. No DMS. So you understand that there are 9 pale lagers that can have DMS appropriate. The 10th beer style, by the way, is cream ale. With that, I neatly summed up 10 beer styles for which DMS or cooked corn can be appropriate. And in those particular styles, you can point that out even if it's not there, if you're judging any of those. That's a good other aromatic, okay? So if you want to, real quick too, you can flip to the study guide, and under question T1, under cooked corn, ever appropriate, and if so, when? Yeah, all 9 pale lagers and cream ale. So yeah, that also takes care of that certain error in the study guide regarding cooked corn or DMS, where it says no ale should have it. Well, of course, cream ale, if you're using some corn, you're going to have some cooked corn character. It's not exactly the same as DMS, but DMS is going to be hidden in there. Other aromatics. Can somebody else throw out one? After I took care of one already. There's some are going to be pretty obvious. You could be kicking yourselves afterwards too.
Banana.
You're on the right track.
Did you say outside of what's on the left, or?
No, it'll include these here too.
Definitely acetaldehyde. I mean,
is it style specific?
Yes.
Yes. It can be acceptable to those American pale lagers. That's a good one. Minor, but it's a good one too. I'm glad you picked that one out. Some of the other ones are going to be very obvious. Although you mentioned banana earlier, that's an ester and would fall under, well, esters in the aroma section. But there's something else that's close to that for a certain style. What other aromatics? There's something that we hit on in Doppelbock.
The phenol.
Phenols, excellent. Although it didn't apply to Doppelbocks, phenols are such a major category, and it certainly applies as another aromatic. Phenols. Are any of these phenol style specific? There's quite a few that are. Okay. What phenols are style specific? Clove. Not only is it expected, it's even demanded for 3 styles in specifically. What's that?
Weizen, Doppelweizen, and Weizenbock.
German Weiss, also known as Weizenbock. I'm sorry, also known as Dunkelweizen. The Dunkelweizen and Weizenbock. In fact, if clove is not in those 3 styles where you're judging them, it's going to be a flaw. It's going to take it away from that score. Other aromatic?
Can't you get
Definitely.
clove in wit?
Is it acceptable in the wit? I'll let you look that up. You know, in low amounts too, it's certainly acceptable in some of the Belgian strong ales, the paler ones, I believe. That might also fall under the category of just other spiciness too, because what other spice falls under phenolic?
Pepper.
Good, excellent.
Belgian yeast.
Definitely, Belgian yeast. Remember, these phenols in particular are going to be yeast derived. That clove is going to be from that Hefeweizen yeast strain. Pepper, which styles specifically? Throw out a couple. Throw out a couple. Triple. Belgian strong golden. Ale. Those couple that you pretty much expect some spiciness in, and those are certainly phenols. Specifically pepper, nothing wrong with a little bit of clove, but that covers phenols that can be appropriate to certain styles, and you would comment on them whether they're there or whether they're not there. That helps to fill out the score sheet more. You have 4 lines to fill up, okay? What other phenols?
Smoke.
Great, great. Smoke. Okay, specific styles.
Rausch.
Definitely classic route beer and
Smoke.
what's that?
Smoke.
Yeah, I think it's called the other smoke beers. Yeah. Classic route beer.
And that doesn't necessarily mean peat smoke, correct?
Correct. But
Mash beer isn't a peat smoke anyway.
correct. That peat smoke is going to be more derived from malt. but it's still a phenolic, okay? If you're detecting a little bit of a peatiness in your, maybe a strong Scotch ale, that's a phenolic, that's an other. That satisfies the requirements of commenting on other aromatics, okay? Is it style specific? It's not demanded and even somewhat inappropriate for a noticeable amount. A small amount, a mild amount of smoke in the Scottish ales and strong Scotch is fine, okay? These are the ones that really demand a smoky character, the smoked phenols, okay? So great, we covered 3 specific phenols as they might be appropriate. Otherwise, a very cleanly brewed beer with no off aromas. Yeah, please don't call anything an off flavor in the aroma section, as that just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I've seen that sometimes. No off flavors in the aroma section. Well, again, I hope not, okay? No off aromas. But you can say specifically, no phenols, no phenolics, okay? We've covered the 3 positive phenols there too, and vanilla could be another one for these particular German beers, okay? Great, so phenolics and other aromatics. Which other ones? There's one that's going to be really obvious too, okay?
Alcohol.
That's the obvious one, isn't it? Great.
I mean the one that's checked?
Yes, the one that's checked. The one that's checked and the one that we had a beer earlier that had a distinct alcohol character. Detecting a small amount of alcohol. Detecting a high level of alcohol. It's not so much that you would say that for all beers, but there are certain styles that you would expect to comment on. Anybody can think of any beers that might have alcohol? Yeah. Barley wines, meaning American and English, and the whole Bock category for that matter.
Old English.
Old ale, excellent. Yeah. By saying Bocks, I am implying the entire category. Okay. Traditional, Hellesbock, Doppelbock, Eisbock, Weizenbock. Throw the Weizenbock in there as well. Certainly the Belgian strong ales as well. Okay. If you're not detecting alcohol in those particular beers, it should be noted. Okay. Would you necessarily take away from it? You know, you might expect a little bit of a pleasant alcohol character in all those styles that we just listed. Okay. It's up to you whether to take off points for that. Those are things, obvious things to look for in those styles.
Is it appropriate for imperial style ales?
Imperial IPA.
Imperial IPA, Imperial Stout.
Yes. The list goes on, doesn't
Yeah.
it? The list goes on.
Unless it's a fusel alcohol.
Gosh,
Yes.
export.
But if it's a fusel alcohol, that's another good way of describing it, because that's very specific, okay? Describe the alcohol, not just how much, but in this case, is it the harsh fusel solvent alcohol, okay? Great. Got 3 of them right there. DMS, phenols, alcohol can always be commented on. Okay? Under appearance. Notice that there is not an other visual, okay? But are there some things that we comment on? There are 3 lines to fill up. If you can fill them up, that's great, okay? Don't knock yourself out to filling up completely if you're commenting on everything, but what other appearance characteristics can you think of?
Solids.
Pardon me?
Solids.
Solids.
Like
Solids might go under clarity, but that's a good descriptor for being specific. We call those floaters or chunks, by the way. Okay, I think that's a technical term for those. Something Rick hit on earlier with that Doppelbock too. You remember what that was under other?
Legging.
Yeah,
lacing.
great. I will call those 2 of them actually.
Yeah.
Lacing, legs. Does everybody understand what lacing is? Okay, as the foam sticks to the side as you take every sip. That's going to be common too for pretty well carbonated beers. And we need a little bit of head on that, of course, to layer it. And a lot of times the hops seem to help a little bit too. The lacing, it's what's sticking to the side and is still there when you're all done. Legs, typically use that phrase for stronger beverages, but there are some beer styles that might show up with some legs on them.
Definitely.
Such as?
Come back to your Belgian strong, the barley wine.
Yeah, the strong.